In this part, we will cover the steps involved in completing your GPSC travel grant application. To complete your travel grant application, you must first download and complete the travel grant application. Second, ask a faculty member from your school or department to fill out an online faculty letter of recommendation on your behalf. And third, fill out an online information form and upload your application document. In order to start the application process, go to the GPSC Travel Grants website and click on the link at the bottom of the page that takes you to the Travel Grant Application and Submission Instructions page. And that's this right here. In order to begin your application, download the GPSC Travel Grants application document by clicking on the link highlighted in yellow. Please note that the GPSC does not accept email or hard copy submissions of your travel grant application material. Instructions on how to submit your application using the online submission form are provided in Part 3 of this presentation. The GPSC Travel Grant Application document is a PDF document that contains the following items: a statement, an abstract required if you will be presenting, an anticipated budget, exceptions to the budget if applicable. In addition, you can include an official letter of acceptance to present at the conference, but this is optional. Please note that you are not required to attach a faculty letter of recommendation. Members of faculty should use the online form to write their letter of recommendation. The online form is available at gpsc.arizona.edu/tg_fac_rec. Evaluating the applications. 2 judges evaluate each travel grant application using a common evaluation rubric, which is available for your reference in the Documents section of the GPSC Travel Grants website. Each application is evaluated according to 4 criteria: professional development, description of work, description of event and efforts to secure funding, and the budget. The first 3 criteria are usually contained in the application statement. Each element is scored out of 10 points for a maximum of 40 points. Mix my pages up. Per judge evaluation. Excuse me. Since 2 judges evaluate each application, applications are scored out of a maximum of 80 points. For each application item, the general rule of thumb is that the more relevant details you provide, the higher score you will receive. We will work through some real and fictitious examples to illustrate this point. Important notice: please do not distribute or share any information from the application samples to anyone. The authors of the applications below have graciously allowed us to use their materials for educational purposes. The GPSC would like to ensure that their privacy is respected. For your statement, how you present your statement is as important as its contents. Note how this applicant used bold headings and double spacing to separate the important parts of the statement. These are some examples of statements that do not provide the level of specificity required to receive a high score. Going to a career conference in Phoenix to meet with potential employers to secure a full-time employment. This conference attracts over 200 employers and is a great opportunity to network and get on-site interviews with many employers. That was the whole statement. Another example: attend X conference to interview with top schools to obtain a research job. The Y program is ranked by US News and World Report, and the ranking places a high weight on the success of the Y program graduates being employed. Not only is this statement short, it has a spelling error. That's not good. This is a more complicated statement. This statement is an example of packing in a lot of information without much substance. My practice inquiry is based on finding specific screening tools that can be used in rural and underserved areas to better distribute limited resources to evaluate children and adolescents at risk for sudden cardiac arrest. Attending this conference will allow me to determine the most up-to-date status of the science in this subject area, so I may better direct my doctoral study in accordance with the resources available to me at the University of Arizona. In this statement, the judge doesn't know what the applicant is studying or researching, which screening tools based on which resources the applicant is using, where these rural and underserved areas are located, why the children and adolescents are at risk of sudden cardiac arrest, and how the applicant is to evaluate those children and adolescents. Needless to say, the judges reading this statement are no better off having read this statement than if they had not read it. Now we will go through the individual elements of the statement that reflect the scoring criteria in the evaluation rubric. The first element deals with professional development. In the statement, the applicant must explain in detail how attending this conference will help his or her professional development. Did the applicant express the value of the proposed travel to his or her professional development? Did you get the sense that the applicant really thought about what he or she put in the application? It might be a good idea to enumerate the benefits of attending the conference, as this applicant has done. These are some of the basic elements to include in explaining your professional development. First, relate the conference to your research. How is the conference relevant to and helpful for your research? Second, include specific names of scholars and panels in the conference who are important for your research. Third, relate to employment opportunities in specific terms. Please note that the judges will look both at the statement and at the faculty letter of evaluation for information regarding the relevance of the conference to your research and professional development. In your statement, you should explain your work as it relates to the conference. The applicant must explain the work that he or she will be presenting at the conference. The applicant can explain his or her work by providing an abstract and/or by explaining the work in the personal statement. To adequately describe your work, you should include the title of the work you will present at the conference. If you are not presenting, you can offer a title-like topic of your research area. Then, you must explain your research in terms that non-specialists can understand. It is usually insufficient to merely copy and paste portions of your abstract, especially if the abstract contains specialized terminology and language. The description must implicitly connect to the conference and your academic or professional objectives. If you are presenting, please include a copy of the abstract that you submitted to the conference. If you are not presenting, you should explain your research interests at an equal level of detail.